Hi guys, now we are going to learn a new concept which is classes, but before that I have to mention one thing. I will code with an editor because with the classes the methods would be complex somehow, so to do that you can choose any editor you prefer. For me I prefer vscode. It's a powerful editor with a lot of extensions which make your work easier. So if you decide to work with vscode, then open Google, write vscode and go ahead to the website and download it. And you have to consider your operating system, as you can see, for Mac and Windows and Linux. So when you download it, wait few seconds till the downloading finish. And now click on it and follow the steps. It's easy, you don't have to change between the options, just to accept the agreement. And after you install it in your operating system, one step and everything will be configured. Open vscode and go ahead to extensions, then write Python. And now install it. And that's because we will write Python code, and to be able to do that we have to download this extension to work within vscode, and that's it. Now, the class is a method for bundling data and functionality together, and data means any variables instantiated or defined, whereas functionality means any operation that can be performed on that data. Now, I will take a look at the class syntax, then I will go ahead to write some code. So, to create a class, we declare the class with the keyword class, followed by the class name, and we end it with the colon. Then, we write the needed variables and functions. One more thing, which is the variables within the class, we call it properties, and the functions, we call it method. Don't forget that, and now let's try with an example. So, when we open vscode, we will get this interface. Now, we open folder to choose where we want to save our project. For example, I will create a folder within the JavaTube folder, and I will name it classes. Then, select this folder. And now we will create Python file, and I will name it myclass.py, like this, myclass.py. That's it. And now we can write some Python code. So I will start creating my class with the keyword class, then the name of class. Now I will create a class, name it student, which has name, first exam result, second exam result, and the course name as properties. So as I mentioned, the variable within the class is properties, and the function we call it methods. So my class name will be student, and we ended with the colon. And here is small notic, which is we can write the name of class with small letter, but the convention is to start with a capital letter, and these conventions were created to make it easier on others to read and understand our code. So you are free, but the convention is to start with capital letter. And now we will start to write our properties. The first one, name, with the initial value, for example, none. Then the first exam with the value 0, which is first exam result, and second exam also it will be 0, and the course will be none also. And now here is my class. Now I can create instance. I don't need, for example, in this time for the methods. So now I will show you how to read your Python file from bash or terminal, no matter. So we write my Python like this, then my class.py, and now I can create an instance. Before that, I have to explain what the meaning of instance. The instance basically means creating a variable using the class which I created, which is student. In other meaning, we can hold all the information for the student in a single variable. For example, the name, first exam, second exam, and finally the course. And that make it easier to handle the data. So to create instance, for example, student1 student, then that's it. Now we have our first instance, which is student1. Now if I want to know the name of student, then student dot name, student1, and as you can see, with the initial value which is none. The same for example, for first exam, it's 0. Now we can go and change the value of properties of the student. For example, for the student1, I want to set his name student1 dot name, then we assign the value, which is, for example, Jabi. Then student1 dot first exam equal to, for example, 5. student1 dot second exam equal to, for example, 2. Then the course, student1 dot course equal to computer science. So now if I want to check student, for example, the name, then I will get Jabi. The same thing for the others. For example, then I will get 5. So that's it about the class. We created the class and we create our variable or our properties, and now I will create many methods to see how can we create it, how can we use it, and is it useful or not. So I will create method, for example, to return all the student data, and I will name it info, for example. And here we have, when we using class, we have to write self. Then, for example, print, let's say the student name, then self dot name. Also print his her first exam result, then self dot first sorry, the method should be or must be within the class. Then now I dot first exam, and the same for the second. Exam, and the course name will be course, then save it. Now I will create the instance again, and I will assign new value Jabi student1 dot first exam with the value, for example, 5 also, and second exam, which is, for example, 1, and with the course for computer science, course. And now I will call this method. We have to write the instance dot info, and then we will get the result. The name is the student name Jabi, his or her first exam result 5, and the second one, and the course computer science. And now I will explain what's happening here with the info, student.info. Here we didn't provide any argument. So what we have to know with this method Python accept our student1 instance as self argument here. So this one, it will be like this: the student, or the Python will understand it like this: student, then the method, then student, like this. And this, which I mean with self. So I don't know if you catch it, but the next video I will talk about the self parameter, and I will try a new concept with the classes to make it more dynamically and easy somehow. So now I will continue with this, and I will create another method which, for example, calculate the grade for the first and second exam. Also, we can, for example, create a new method to, for example, get the final result if the student fail or success. So first I will start with div, for example, grade, and here self. Also I will need the first and second exam, so self dot first exam plus self dot second exam, and divided by 2. Print the grade of, for example, the name of the student is, then the number, the result. So here self dot name for the first placeholder, and the second one the grade. And now I will define another method to get final result. So for example, if the student got in one of 2 exams less than 2, then he will be, or she will be, failed, except that will be success. So if self dot first exam larger or equal to 2, and self dot second exam also larger or equal to 2, then str equal to, for example, the student blah blah blah, the student has passed the course, for example, the name course, successfully. But first I have to define or create string with empty string, like this, to be able to use it out of the if condition. Here else, sorry, here colon, then here the same one, the same sentence has failed in the course name. So now I will print str.format, and then the first one, the name, self.name, the second one self.course, I think. Yeah, that's it. Now let's try to create student instance and change the data and try to call the methods. So here student, for example, one, the same student. Now student one dot name, I will give him the name, for example, Jabi. For example, here course with computer science, the first exam, it will be, for example, 5, and the second one, it will be, for example, 1. Sorry. So the second, it will be, for example, 4 or 5. So student one dot info, then here is, for example, if I want to get the grade, then is mistake. Sorry. Dot format. So let's try the result. So the student Chabi has filled in the computer science course, and that's because he got 1 in the first one. No matter the grade, you have to pass first, then we can see the grade. So I will create another instance with another result to get the first status, which is pass it successfully. But first I have to exit, then print again to get the updates. So student equal to student, then student dot name equal to ShabiTube, then the course will be, for example, IT course, then The first exam will be 5. First exam, and the second will be 2. Second exam. And now let's try to get the info, and that's it. And the grade the same. Now it's work. The grade of JabiTube is blah blah 3.5, and the result then the student JabiTube has passed the IT course successfully. So that's it for this video. We create the class, we create our properties and methods, and we changed the value and we called the methods. In the next video we will talk about the self parameter and the constructor method or the init function.